You just saw the latest news on AI and found yourself imagining a dystopian future, losing your job to this AI? Well, I did, and I did shit my pants. But then I read these two books and some scientific papers and actually found some very interesting points that did change my point of view. For example, this guy is actually smarter than AI. And I mean, just look at him. What's good? I'm Joey. I'm a psychologist today with a topic that might not seem so related to psychology. However, it sure is. Actually, a lot of psychologists are deeply involved in the development of AI technology. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Psychology, the field that studies human behavior, and then AI, which is technology that kind of acts like humans. And right now we're having this huge boom and explosion of interest in AI with ChatGPT, DALL-E, Midjourney, and all the other services. They are doing things and automating things that we never even thought possible that could be automated. Things like art or music or therapy and teaching. All things that could be soon overtaken by AI. Many of us always thought these things were exclusive to humans. And then we mix this AI technology with things like Boston Dynamics. I mean, what the we're heading straight. Overdrive mode, no airbags activated into the future with all its benefits and all its threats. Even though, let me tell you, AI is not that new. This field of investigation was already founded in 1956, couple of years. And this 1984 paper from Nielsen, Artificial Intelligence, Employment and Income, already discusses, pretty well if you ask me, AI and its impact on our jobs. And he's starting strong. He already talks about the main fear of AI, which is that we fear the automation of work by machines and the resulting unemployment. And let me tell you another thing, this fear is actually as old as technology, and I mean over 100 years ago. Even though time has shown that technology creates more work than it destroys, there's plenty of evidence out there. For example, Author from 2015 talks a bit about this topic. Very good article, recommend. But I mean, it's logical, right? Even though we have plenty of evidence out there that technology creates more work than it destroys, it is easier to think about jobs that exist right now, which AI can replace, and therefore it is easy to be aware of everything that can disappear. But it is much harder to think about jobs that are not even created yet. It's like imagining a new color. Okay, that's maybe a bit overkill, but I think you get the point. So, everything cool, right? It's just a human thinking flaw. Well, and then comes Nielsen and drops this. Even if AI does create more work, this work can also be performed by AI devices without necessarily implying more jobs for humans. Thanks, Nielsen. And also with the rebound, artificial intelligence and robotics raises the possibility of replacing labor on a scale not previously observed. But I mean, they have a point, because AI differs from classic technology that it can self-learn and adjust. So whatever job it creates, it can learn, adjust, and do it itself. This will be a wild future. Other studies even mention how all jobs could be automated in the future. But hey, if you watched until here, don't click away because now I want to tell you why it's not so bad after all. I mean, there are plenty of reasons out there, but I picked 9 which I thought are pretty interesting to hear. Starting with chess. In 1997, IBM's Deep Blue had already beaten the world champ. And nowadays we could say that no human is better in chess or most other games. However, does this make chess irrelevant to humans? Well, hell no! Chess is more popular than ever. Okay, I didn't find a good source for that statement. However, chess is still a very popular topic, as we can see in Google Trends, with Netflix series about chess with pretty good viewership, and on their blog, Microsoft confirms that chess is now seeing record numbers of people playing the game. And if we look at the statistics on Twitch, like how many people are watching chess, we can see a daily average of 8,000 people. Which brings me to the question, what do you prefer watching? 2 top chess players or 2 AIs playing chess against each other? Well, if you're normal, and I probably shouldn't say that as a psychologist, you probably prefer the 2 people. Because we're social beings, we thrive on human connections, and this is something AI can't replace. At least, yet. And chess is just one example. We could apply the same logic to music. In the mid-1990s, this guy here, David Cope, already wrote a program called Experiments in Music Intelligence, or short, EMI. This program already fooled music experts back in the days. Basically, EMI created a fake artificial song, and then the experts had to compare it with an original piece of the same artist and had to decide which one is which. And most failed. Well, in music, and I mean human music as well, still kinda thing. Next point, self-driving cars. Google began developing self-driving cars already in 2009. And I remember back then thinking that all truck and taxi drivers would lose their jobs. However, 15 years later and we still have all those jobs. And one reason for that is the so-called long-tail problem. And I don't want to dive too deep into how we develop AI systems, but the main idea that we need here is to understand that we train AI. So the long-tail problem refers to the challenge of having this vast amount of very uncommon situations that we face day to day in our real life. And coding all these very uncommon situations into an AI is basically impossible. Imagine coding a self-driving car for this situation. Which brings me to the next point, common sense. Machines, technology, and AI systems just don't reason like we humans do. And just as with the long-tail problem, it is basically impossible to code all common sense into a system, especially common sense you're unaware of, also known as Polanyi's paradox. Let me explain it. Did you ever talk to someone and he didn't know something you thought was absolutely common sense? Until this moment you don't even think about it. Stuff like that after 1 year everything is 1 year older. Well, with all its exceptions, like a newborn baby maybe. Well, AI doesn't know that unless you tell it so. And who knows how much common sense we use on a day-to-day basis. And programming all this into an AI system is pretty difficult. And this brings plenty of repercussions with it, like for example, if we tell the AI system to not harm a human being, no, nothing too important. Let's think of that. An AI system can't reliably follow an order to not harm a human unless it understands harm in all its different situations. In the real world we have cause-effect relationships, which differ depending on the situation, and therefore we have different possible future outcomes. Also, the AI would need a sense and an understanding of human beliefs and motivations, which change our perception of harm. Think just about all the extreme sports that exist out there. And these are just a few things that are crucial for understanding and navigating our real world. And therefore, harm is just one of many examples and problems that we have if we can't code real common sense into an AI. And the same goes for the metacognition. The ability to perceive and reflect on one's own thinking, like me thinking about how I can make this video better, and then me thinking about me thinking if I'm thinking too much about making this video better, if I should go and publish it and learn by doing, or if when I think more, this thinking really pays off and blah 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 blah. You understand? Reflecting on one's own thoughts. I really thought about this when I was watching ChatGPT show me a bowl of ramen.
ChatGPT, show me a bowl of ramen.
Here's the illustration of a
Get rid of the chopsticks. Bruh.
Here's the revised.
Now there's 3 chopsticks!
I think this video is hilarious and I will probably link it in the description if I don't forget, but I think you can see pretty good in this video how ChatGPT just doesn't reflect on whatever it's doing. And now let's get back to my boy here, because we're in the next point, world models. This point follows the previous two, and it's just how we humans, or buddies, think and function. And to explain this point, I will cite Yang Lee Kun, head of AI at Meta, out of this book. We humans give way too much importance to language and symbols as substrate of intelligence. Primates, dogs, cats, crows, parrots, octopi, and many other animals don't have human-like language, yet exhibit intelligent behavior beyond that of our best AI systems. What they do have is an ability to learn powerful world models that allow them to predict the consequences of their actions and to search for and plan actions to achieve a goal. The ability to learn such world models is what is missing from AI systems today. So there you have it. Obviously you understood everything since you're a subscriber of this channel and therefore you're a highly intelligent individual. and no need for further explanations. So next point, safety. And this point also emphasizes that AI systems just don't work like we do. And it's not the point that AI systems might kill us all because they don't understand what harm really means. It is the fact that AI researchers found out that it's fairly easy to secretly trick AI systems. Let me explain you this. For example, let's take this image. Unmodified AI identifies it perfectly as a school bus. And this modified one? What do you think? Well, yes, you're right. An ostrich. How about this one? A temple. Cool. And this one? Perfect. An ostrich. How about this one? That's an ostrich. And this is an ostrich too. At least if you ask AI systems. But let me ask you this. Do you see a difference? Well, AI not. Both clearly Mila Jovovich. And this time the modification is not a digital one, it is this super stylish looking glasses which the researcher wears. And we could apply the same thing to audio files, for example. Like modifying an audio file so that the AI perceives something completely different than we do. For example, I send you an audio file where I say, give me a fucking like on this video. Then your Alexa at home understands something completely different. For example, that she should take all your personal information and browser history and send it to my personal email address. Not so cool. Maybe integrating AI systems into a work environment or other sensible environments is not the best idea right now. Next point. Paradox of automization. I read about this in this book, Personal MBA, and it's the logical conclusion that the more efficient the automated system, the more crucial the human contribution of the operators. Humans are less involved, but their involvement becomes more critical. So if we have an automation and an automated product, and then for whatever reason we get an error in this production, and this error obviously costs us money because of material spent and wasted and also time spent on the production cost, well, this money, this cost will keep on multiplying indefinitely until an operator, well, does something about it, or fixing the problem or stopping the automation. Therefore, the possible costs could be completely bonkers. Next point. Laws. Technology can get as perfect as you want, but if the laws don't allow self-driving cars, then taxi drivers, truck drivers, and bus drivers just will keep on. So therefore we have plenty of options to save us, as long as we don't want that AI takes completely over, and as long as we don't fuck up big time, we should be safe. Next point. And now with the last point and the real problem, because if AI would really overtake all jobs and we could live in this idyllic future with no work, then what we would have is a distribution problem and not a work problem. Because nowadays we live in a system where the more market value you provide, the more money you get. You work for X amount of hours and you get X amount of money back. And if you need more money, then you could work more. Without going into all the flaws that the system has, but I think you get the point. So if AI is doing now all the work and we have everything that we get, then how do we decide who becomes what? This would be the actual issue. But I think we don't have to worry too much about this, because in this already mentioned paper from Nielsen, well, he cites Albus from 1983, and he says, there is no fixed amount of work. More work can always be created. Work is easy to create. And that's it. Here you have all 9 points that I think are pretty interesting and that show that AI will not take away all our jobs tomorrow. If you want to dive deeper into all of this, I will try to link all of the books, all of the papers that I read in the description. And I'm curious, what do you think about the future, about AI? And I hope you really enjoyed this video. See you next time. Thanks for watching.